Hello, beautiful people. Carl, Damon, and Liam here from Games, Brains to Headbanging Your Life, gbhblofficial.com for sure. And it's probably the final video of the year, actually, at least in this format where we're talking as a trio or a duo or whatever, because we just wanted to kind of wrap up the gaming side of things. We've have our list, we've got our top 10 games of the year. There's been other videos as well, similar to how me and Damon often do our monthly roundups. That's what we wanted to do here. A kind of yearly roundup of gaming from our individual perspectives, because of course it's varied, it's different. Time allotment sometimes allows certain different experiences, certain games will have played, others may not have touched, and so on. And what we wanted to do to keep it focused is we broke it down into categories. So we're going to give you our three best games of the year. Now these are games that we've played, but don't necessarily have to have been released this year. We're not focusing just on the releases of 2025. That would be a mistake because ultimately, when you have jobs and you have lives, and between the pair of you two, you have five kids between you. You're not always going to be able to play games that come out this year until maybe next year. And you might have been catching up with games from 2024. Shit, you might have been catching up with games from 10 years ago and so on. Or just playing your way for every fucking Yakuza game under the planet if you're Damon. We've got our worst of the year. So three games that we played this year that were just absolutely fucking shocking. Then we've gone to what we often like to do is look at some achievements as well. So we should have three achievements that were particularly you earned this year that you might be particularly proud of, whatever the reason you can justify. And then three achievements that you earned this year that you're either embarrassed about, ashamed of, are just bad achievements and you earned them, whatever the reason, you can tell us as we talk. And then we're going to take a little look at next year. Perhaps some of the games that you're most looking forward to next year, you anticipated to see more of, and so on. But before we get into the best of the year, just a quick thing about 2025, really. As I said, we have our list, the top 10 games of 2025, and that's been published on the websites. And they are specifically games that were played this year, chosen by myself and Liam. We shared that article. And it was a challenge even to come up with 10, if I'm honest. Like, there were some great games that I played that with 2025 release dates, but like, when I sat down and looked back, I realized, oh, there's not been anything that's like gay, like I'm going to use the term game changing, something so fucking good that you're like, I will never forget this game that was released this year. There have been great games, a lot of it like Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, which has won all the awards for its reasons. What I'm saying is that so far, although I'm playing it, I haven't completed it. I'm playing it, and I do think it's bloody great, and it's a real like fun to throwback to the turn-based combat RPG stuff. Um, it's great, but like I don't know if it's going to be like I don't know if it's like the best thing ever. Like that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like Silent Hill F is another one where it's like these are great games, but are they kind of like iconic games? Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm making sense there.
Obviously, I'll go into when we talk about our favorite games of the year, but I don't know how far you've got into Clair Obscur, but like,
About 10
even if you're like,
hours.
yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff happens in that game that is just like super unexpected and twists and turns to do with the story and the characters that you might get invested in and stuff like that. Yeah, it starts off maybe a little bit slow, I guess, but like it definitely there's a lot more to come that I think does turn it into in my personal opinion, a game that will stand the test of time and it's not just a great game. It's more than that to me. But yeah.
Well, there we go. I mean, that's a direct rebuttal to what I said. You're absolutely right because I haven't made it to the end. I guess my mind is there to be changed. And I mean, that's the idea. I hope, but reality of it is, I'm not going to end up doing that until 2026, really. But aside from that, the likes of South of Midnight impressed me this year. Doom: The Dark Ages impressed me as well to a degree. It's still just a Doom game. A few indie titles here and there were pretty cool, but that's about it for 2025. I ended up looking when I was looking, I kept forgetting. I was like, oh yeah, this game came out this year. No, it didn't. It came out last year. Or in some
Mm.
cases, I was going to add a game that somehow came out 3 years ago, and I was like,
Mm.
oh, well, I've really misjudged this one.
Yeah, there were some games I look back to and I could have swore I played it this year, but it was like late 2024. It's just this year's gone so fast. But I do actually agree, obviously, that I don't think there's been like a plethora of truly great games this year. Only got to look at like the Game Awards or everyone's top lists of the year. Obviously, I'm restricted to just the Xbox side of things. I know there's been some great stuff on Nintendo and PlayStation that haven't come to Xbox as well. But I think generally we have seen that like yeah, that aren't hasn't been like a great amount of like next gen, top tier AAA games really across the board. Yeah.
this is the first year where there isn't a Nintendo Switch game in any of my top tens. And the reality is it simply didn't play anything particularly lightning. And with the launch of Nintendo Switch 2 and the fact that majority of that games is just like, hey, this is the same game from Nintendo Switch, but with a graphical update is just like, yeah, there was nothing there like that could ever have got into this list, you know?
I know that people were quite high on Donkey Kong
Mm.
Bonanza. That was like on people's a lot of top lists, and Super Mario Kart World was it called? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But I have a theory about that. Tell me another game that got released. Like it's like, do you know what I mean? That's the problem. I have a theory where it's like they might be great games, and I'm sure they're high bar Nintendo games, but when there was fuck all else released, of course they were going to be like, oh wow, great. You know, I'm not saying they're bad games because I doubt they are. It's Nintendo, and the first party stuff does tend to be the best of the best. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very discouraged by what they're doing with that fucking console. So.
It does make you wonder how many more iterations of like the same characters, and they always do mix it up in like really clever ways. And the game's always great. I'm only just now playing through Super Mario Odyssey, which is great and everything, but it's like how many more different iterations of the same sort of characters and things can they go back to over and over and over before people maybe want something new and different? I don't know. That's my opinion.
I don't think you're wrong, but it's the fact that every time they do make a new iteration, it tends to be fucking brilliant. Super Mario Odyssey is my favorite Mario game to date. It's like it's better than 64. It's better than the originals. That's you know. So like it does. As long as they continue to be great, I guess it's okay. But that's us. Then we've got to come to you now. And 2025. Now, obviously, your gaming is so varied. Is there anything? Did you notice or pick anything out that was released this year that you actually played?
I mean, there was the only one that I mean, I think I've only played one, which was released this year. But
Mm.
as I said, I'm so far behind the times that literally like my list is like I've got like a stack of games on my side, which I'm getting through it slowly. But it's just, yeah, but I mean, the only game which I believe was released this year, I may be completely wrong, but that was obviously Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah, that was released this year. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, so that's and that obviously that'll be actually on my list of the best. So
Okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, obviously, I've not played it, so I can't really say. I think the last, well, I played Mirage this year, but like that doesn't count. That's like ancient.
I will actually say that all three of my games actually did release this year, ironically. So there you
Well,
go.
I've got one that was released this year, so technically it does also in there, but the other two were last year. But we're going to get into that now. What we'll do is take it one each. We'll go around the room effectively. I'll start. We'll go to Liam. We'll go to Damon, and we'll tell you why these not in any order. Just three games that are your best of the year. And I'm going to start with one that was released, and maybe even not last year. It might have been even earlier, but I played it this year, and it's up there as one of my all-time favorite games now, and it is Outer Wilds. I played Outer Wilds this year. It was actually recommended to me by the vocalist and guitarist of Pupil Slicer last year when we chatted in an interview about games. And Kate and said, "Yeah, Outer Wilds, this is the one." And I knew it, I knew of it, and it was kind of one of those on my lists. But then I started it eventually this year, and yeah, what everybody says about it is true. It's one of the finest, cleverest, most unique games I've ever played. By the end, I was so addicted to it, and I listened to the soundtrack pretty much daily. The soundtrack is simply phenomenal. It's stuck in my memory. I spent days in that game exploring and trying to understand its mysteries, and it's not for everybody, particularly if you want a game where you need to be kind of led the right way. I mean, I'd say play it using a guide. You'll still enjoy it, but at least then you might have a bit more of an understanding where things are going. But yeah, my first one of the three best of the year was Outer Wilds. Not the Outer Wilds. Don't get the two confused. The Outer Wilds is a totally different game series. Outer Wilds, just those words.
Yeah. I remember I got a free copy of that once because I was what it was when Xbox were doing like a stream they were doing one of their conferences and they would give out codes for certain things. It was
Hmm.
back in an old system and I got it for free and I did actually try out once. And yeah, I kind of
Nice.
struggle with games where you're just kind of thrown in and like no real sense of direction or told what to do. So it didn't really like grab me, but that's cool.
Fair enough. Well, your turn.
Me next.
Yep. You next.
Okay, I'm going to work backwards from three to one. So
Okay.
my first one is the Silent Hill 2 remake, which I just recently played through fully, got all the achievements, and it's been a hell of a long time coming for this game. I observed every step of the way that it took towards it finally coming to Xbox, and I think it was absolutely worth the wait and the hype that is surrounding it. I think the best aspects of it for me are the environments, which are filled with such incredible detail, and it has this ability to generate one hell of an atmosphere. And much like the Resident Evil remakes that came before it, I thought Konami have done a great job of truly giving it the love and attention that it so richly deserves. And the work that has gone into it is lovingly on display. That's it.
Well said. I've picked it up as well and currently own it. I just need the time to play it. As with everything. Are you excited for Silent Hill, the remake of the original then, and potentially three because that's being banded about as well now?
Well, I was obviously like way too young to really experience the first game. I remember I kind of have vague memories of like you and Damon playing it, like little things like that.
Oh.
And I did play the HD remasters of 2 and 3 when they came out on the Xbox 360. So I have memories of that already. So it was nice to compare it to that because then you see like truly how far it's come. Like it's insane
Mm.
when you like put them side by side. But yeah, so my time with number one is not that great. So it'd be really kind of refreshing to go back to something kind of new for me, really. So yeah,
You forget that. That's incredible. How lucky for you that
yeah.
you would actually be going into Silent Hill 1 remake without really knowing it.
Yeah, like I said in my description of why this was so great, I think it just compared to like the Resident Evil remakes, which Resident Evil is like a series more like gears towards like the action type of thing, doesn't it? It has some atmosphere and like has some creep factor, but I think like that's kind of what makes Silent Hill different and special compared to it. Is it's like there's action obviously, but it just nails that like thick, oppressive atmosphere of being in the town and the fog and everything, and it's just
Mm.
like yeah, brilliant.
Cool. All right, Damon, what's one of your best of the year then?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna echo basically what Liam sort of said there with the going into blind of Silent Hill. But for me, it is going into blind of Resident Evil 7. You know,
Ah.
so after obviously I've played all the originals, I played all the remakes, played literally to death, and this was the first time I've ever played 7. And without a doubt, for me personally, it is the best Resident Evil I've ever played. I love the
Ah.
story. I love the characters. It's not a difficult game. I love the DLCs. I love there's so many things about this game which I love, and yeah, I think that they have Konami have just done an amazing job with these games,
Capcom.
and did I say whoopsies? Sorry, Capcom have done an amazing job with these games, and yeah, just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. My hair, my 1 second. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine, thank you. No, it's my fucking headphones had disconnected momentarily. That's cool. So all the DLCs as well, yeah?
yeah, fully
Okay.
completed.
What, you enjoyed all of them though? All of them? Because some of those DLCs on 7 are a little bit crap, in my opinion. The
I mean,
whatever the one is, what's the one? What's the
Jack's
one where you're
birthday.
just playing cat cards? Oh, what is that one? Not End of Zoe. What is
Yeah,
it?
Survival 21.
That's it. That one. Yeah, that's not great.
No, no. So obviously, I'll get out into a different subject when we get to it. But I mean, the DLCs, there was a lot of good ones I enjoyed. I mean, there's some silly ones like the Jack's birthday. You got to feed Jack his birthday food and shit like that. But I thought that was quite funny, you know. But then I
Oh, the
enjoyed like
band footage stuff,
basically,
yeah.
yeah. I enjoyed like Zoe's side. You know, obviously finding out a bit more about Jack's brother, her uncle, which is pretty cool. I
Mm.
thought, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add there. I was the one banging on about you to play it for quite a while, so I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I mean Resident Evil 7 is, it's a great package, all of it together, going from 6, the way they revolutionized it, made it into a first person horror game and still integrated all the clever Resident Evil puzzles and stuff like that when you thought it was going to be something kind of different, and then it turns out to being quite traditional in lots of ways. So I
Mm.
have a lot of fond memories playing through it, definitely.
And just to add, I finally get now and understand why you Carl kept saying to me, "Welcome to the family, son." Finally understood it
Oh.
now. And literally for days after, that's all I kept saying. So
Yeah, I feel so sorry for that family, Jack, Marguerite. They're
yeah,
victims as much as anything else,
yeah.
Such victims. Um, Okay, my second one of the best of the year then is another game that didn't come out this year, but I played it this year and I fucking love it. So I've got a lot of time and respect for Night Dive Studios, the company that is basically finding old forgotten games and remastering and remaking them in impressive fashion. They did it with Shadow Man, they've done it with The Thing, they've done it with a few others. And one that came out that I was a game called Power Slave Exhumed. Now, Exhumed was actually on a PlayStation, and Power Slave was what it was called in certain different territories. I think it was called Exhumed in Europe, and it was a first-person shooter set in Egypt. I never even played it back in the day, but I knew of it. They re-released that, remade it from bottom up, took the two versions, the Sega Saturn version and the PlayStation version, took the best of both games, mashed it into one, and released what is up there as one of my all-time favorite first-person shooters now. I fucking love Power Slave Exhumed. I was addicted to that game. Loved playing it through in the hardest difficulty. It's classic first-person shooting, but really interesting, really cleverly done, and quite unique for its time as well, with its branching paths and secrets. Can't recommend it enough. If you ever see it on sale, considering as well, Night Dive Studios should by now have earned your trust. They get it. They know what they're doing. And this is another great example of where they just released a great game. All the achievements work. They're all clever and interesting to make you play it all the way through. There's ones about secret. It's all just good shit. I loved it. I had so much fun with it. I was addicted to it that when it was over, I was actually disappointed that I didn't have technically any more to play in it. So yeah, my second favorite of the year is Power Slave Exhumed.
They're the same developer that did Shadow Man, right?
That's right. That's them.
Shadow Man and System Shock, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
System Shock as well.
I'll have to keep my eye out for that one.
And The Thing, wasn't it, too? Didn't it do The Thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
that's
Thing,
right.
yep.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go next. It's for my second one. It's a game called The Alters. I think I've messaged a few times about this game, and I just have, my number one game on the list. It's probably pretty obvious from what I said before, but this is just even though the number one game is like I think technically the best game overall. This is probably my favorite game that I played this year, The Alters. I just have so many fond memories from this game, from the highly addictive gameplay loop that it provides to the incredible story that has so many highlights, filled with laughter, sadness, and moments of genuine contemplation. It's one of those games where those who have played it will completely get what I'm talking about here. It's just an absolute delight entirely. Can't recommend it enough.
Mm. Yeah, when you put it into the list as well, I obviously have never played it, but I haven't paid much attention to it. But it's now part of my backlog as well. I've got to check it out.
You'll absolutely adore it. It's just super unique, unlike anything you've probably ever played before. Can't recommend it enough.
Nice praise, eh? All right, Damon, what you got?
Yeah, so my next one is it's actually a game which I only started yesterday and completed it this morning. But it's the Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered.
Okay.
And I put it there because the fact that it's an absolute joy and pleasure to go back and play this game with the remastered graphics, and I think they've done a fantastic job with it. I absolutely loved it. I mean, what surprised me the most, mainly with Soul River 1, not so much 2, but the fact that I was playing it and I could remember everything from about 10 years ago. I knew exactly what I was doing, and it's a very easy completion. Both of them are, literally, I did them both in a day and a half. But it's just an absolute pleasure to go back and I love the fact that they you have the ability to go back to the old graphics and still play or play in the new graphics, and you can see how well they've remastered it and how well they've changed it.
Yeah, I'm not always massively on board with the remastering and re-releases that have been going on, but I do massively support this finding the older games, the games that are being given a little bit of a new lease on life, and then added with achievements. It's the kind of thing that we wanted for such a long time. So it's a good example of where they're doing it right. And hopefully, if those games sell well, it encourages developers and publishers to be like, okay, there's still life in these franchises. Well, not on Legacy of Kain, because watch a Liam video, you'll find out nobody gives a shit about that franchise anymore at all. But there you go. But yeah, I dig it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a childhood favorite of mine for sure. It's on my backlog. I've got like a wish list on Xbox that I think is near 300 games long, and that doesn't
Yeah,
include the
fucking
games
wish
that
lists.
yeah, that doesn't include the games I already have installed, which are like I just had to buy another external hard drive from Amazon the other day because games are just getting so insanely big now. You like
Mm.
every game is like over 100 gigabyte. Like I installed the new Mortal Kombat 1 game that came to Game Pass. It's like 125 gigabytes, and it's like
Mm.
crazy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've weirdly saying that I was looking for a game called Christmas Mutilator on my hard drive this morning. I picked it up cheap and wanted to quickly play it and see what it's like. And it's a very basic game that's like 20 minutes long, horrible graphics, pixel art, all that kind of thing. And it was like, oh my God, why is this 3.1 gig in size? Like, why? How? I don't even know where the fuck it's gone. But like, yeah, it's absurd, absurd.
It's hard to imagine games used to fit on cartridges. I don't know how Nintendo managed to get them onto those little cards, but
Yeah. Well, my
Uh,
last but not last one then is it's actually a game that was released this year, and it's a game that I played initially for about 4 hours, then put to the side, and then eventually went back to it 2 months later and fully completed it. Not 100% achievements, but when I did that, I had to restart it because it's the kind of game that you have to be immersed in, and you got to start and play, and it's Silent Hill F. I was like everybody, I was like, cool. It's really great to see them return to the Silent Hill franchise, and I'm really intrigued by the idea that they are branching it out into new directions. It's a new game. I didn't really get the F part, but that does make more sense when you play it. But I like the idea that they were playing and going into rural Japan. It felt like an easy win. Considering Japanese folklore is fucking insane at the best of times. I mean, literally everything in Japanese folklore is like, yeah, and this thing, and it comes down from a mountain and it wants to murder you. Like everything. It's just all horror with them. I don't think there's any nice stories at all in that fucking goddamn country's history. So it seemed perfect. And even then, I think they surprised me because it's like I see it as a game of two halves. I'm not going to go into spoilers here, so don't worry, because there's shit in this you do not want to spoil. I will promise you this. It is Silent Hill in that it sticks to what you would expect from a Silent Hill game. It's super dark, it's super depressing, it's super horrible. It's got multiple endings. You will when you complete one, you will then unlock a new game plus that basically fills in the blanks to get the next ending, and eventually over these several endings, you'll get the full picture. That kind of thing. But effectively, it's a game split into two. One that's set in a almost fantasy world, and one that's set in a more realistic Silent Hill town with fog and all of that. Both offer unique environments, puzzles, fights, solving, all that. All very Silent Hill. It feels it combat-wise, stylistically, but fucking hell, man. Sometimes you talk about atmosphere, Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill F has it. The town particularly can be a haunting place to wander around in that fog, and you would have seen the imageries of the flowers, the red spreading flower, and how that works in context is very clever as well. I realized about halfway through I was kind of like fully invested. Like, you know, when you're watching each cutscene, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Like, it's like that. You're watching a film and stuff like that. I do think it drags a little bit at the end, where I think it could have been kept just a little tighter by cutting a section of the game out. But then people would have complained it was too short. So, like, you can't bloody win. But for me, yeah, it's up there as one of the best games I played this year. And it actually came out this year. So, yeah, Silent Hill F. Thoroughly recommend. But I suspect you've already bought it, haven't you, Damon? Or you played it yet?
no, no, I've got it, but it's next in my list. So
And I would presume, Liam, it's on your wish list if you've not already got it.
it's on there. And I feel a little bit bad about the fact that I put my money towards a remake instead of a brand new entry. I know that I should probably support that instead,
Hmm.
but it was just too enticing. I guess it was the long way of Silent Hill 2. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Silent Hill F. It's definitely on the list. Looks great.
Okay, your last one then.
Okay, I'll get it over with then. Number one, Clear Obscure Exhibition 33. And I can understand how it might feel, even though you have played some of it, Carl. I can understand how it might feel to people that haven't played this game, and to see something get universal praise, and it wins almost every single award imaginable, and then it's at the top of everyone's top 10s list of the best games of 2025. And I can see how that could be like turn you off potentially. At least for me,
Mhm.
sometimes I can see that happening. It might make you feel like, oh, surely this thing possibly is overrated. But I genuinely think that that is not the case here, and that this game is everything that everyone is saying about it. For me, I think it's a complete masterpiece. It's a type of game and story that I believe doesn't come along very often. And the best way I can, some of my thoughts about it is there's a fantastic review on the Xbox Store page that puts it into words better than I ever could. And it goes like this: Clair Obscur is so good, it made me no longer hate the French. That's it.
Oh, because it's by a fucking French developer. Oh
You
God, you look at
you
the
you won't hate the
names.
you won't hate the French anymore. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So it did that for a lot of
Francois
people.
Guilherme.
I mean, that's proof that you haven't
Yeah.
played much of the game because it's like the most French game ever. Like it's insanely French, but
Oh, I
you what
mean,
you
yeah, from a stylistic visual point of view, like you almost get that French architectural style, like imagery a lot of the time from the start. I mean, I didn't. It's notable, but only in a fantasy kind of setting, because
mm,
obviously as well, it's all English voiceover actors, isn't it?
yeah, but like
Pretty much.
the music is pretty much entirely French.
Mm.
Throughout there's a lot of like strong soundtrack to it, and it's basically entirely French. Also, there's a lot of like more French stuff in it. I won't go into detail, but certain costumes and things like that. Like if you saw the Game Awards, how the people that accepted the award, how they were dressed, so that they don't hide the fact that it's dripping in like French things at all. And well, the more you play it, I think that'll become much clearer, definitely.
Indeed, we should add now it's also getting itself in a spot of bother because it's since been released that it's so they may have used AI for certain aspects of the game, and that is obviously not cool. The Indie Games Award, I think, has pulled its two awards it was going to give them or gave them and stuff like that, and rightfully so. Like, do you know what I mean? That was a foolish mistake, but there you go. That's not for us to judge. Damon, your
Yeah,
final
well,
best.
yes, obviously, I'll already discuss this at the start, but for me, it's my best one of the year is Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now,
Hmm.
I've completed every Assassin's Creed game up to date. I had completed this one until they decided to release DLC, of course, and then they removed it from they then removed it from the Game Pass. So I refused to pay full price for it, but. But I mean, this game has it got a lot of hate, which I don't know why personally. But I mean, I love this game. You know, said I love Japanese culture, and this game is based in the Japanese timeline, and I absolutely love it. I love it. It's all the buildings, the snow, just the game is just everything I would want from an Assassin's Creed game, and it covers all that Japanese culture. You know, I love my Yakuza's and Shenmue's and our culture wise,
Hmm.
and it's just perfect for me.
I think we talked about this before, but I'm so out of time with the Assassin's Creed games. And the only reason I ended up playing Mirage because I was like, I want to play Assassin's Creed game. And people were like, oh yeah, Mirage is like an old school Assassin's Creed game. And I was like, sweet, because I can't be dealing with all these open world ones that have existed. I don't know if I'll ever get the Shadows, if I'm honest. I don't know if I want to play any more Assassin's Creed games, you know? What about
It's
you,
some
Liam? You
it's
think you'll ever
something
get to it?
Yeah, something that definitely I'm going to get around to. I've played every single one except for I missed Valhalla because I played Odyssey before that, which is like insanely big. They got like super crazy big. So, they're like nearly 200-hour long games, RPGs
Yeah.
now. They're like nothing from what you probably remember. They're like it's like The Witcher 3 or something. And then Valhalla, I know, is a bit slower and has like insane amount of collectibles, and I just
Yeah.
missed that one. Then I played Mirage, which was like back to basics, kind of like felt like a remake of the first game, more, but
Mm.
but I didn't love it. I thought it was like okay, and but yeah, Shadows because of where it's set, like the just Japanese thing. I'm definitely very interested in getting to that at some point.
That's the one good thing that Shadow's done compared to again. Obviously, I've played obviously Odyssey and Valhalla, and you're right. The collectibles, the world map was way over the top. But in this game here, is literally I completed the game in 30 hours. That's how short it is. And it's back,
Mm.
it's back to basics. It's not like collect 100 flags and all this stuff. Literally, there is collectibles, but it's like only 30 items. But one of the best things I found about this game is that there's an achievement in the game, and it's like you got to go from one side of the map to the other side of the map on a horse, and it could take you 45 minutes. It's just fantastic.
Mm.
I know you give that face, but it looks absolutely beautiful.
I'm not. Why am I doing that face? Why am I doing that face?
Don't go 45 minutes spare to ride across on a horse or something.
No, it's not that. That's a rip-off of the Red Dead achievement. I talked to you
Hmm.
about this achievement. Remember when Red Dead came on sale and I said to you, "Oh man, it's got achievements like where you have to ride from one end to get to Mexico before sundown." Like I love that achievement. So I'm not there, but I'm saying that's just a rip-off, man. It's a
I mean,
rip-off
to be
achievement.
fair, I may have worded it wrong. It might be like ride to one end of the map.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but yeah,
still, play Red Dead.
it's interesting.
Okay. Right. That's yeah, that's our best of the year. Nice little bit of variety there of games that we've played. Of course, folks, there's many more. We do what we can, and now we're going to switch to the worst. These are ones where we don't recommend. Now, I got to start this off by saying, I could, of course, have listed 100 of those easy achievement games where you spend £2.49 for 5,000 gamer score that you unlock within 20 minutes. I've done a lot of them this year, and with a lot of updates. Damon Nutt's smiling too, because so have you. I don't care. I don't care. Come at me. But I haven't included any of them because that's just cheating, right? That's just being silly. I generally have chosen 3 games that I played or picked up because I thought, hey, this will be fun, or whatever reason, and I either had an excruciating time with them to the point where I hate them so much with a passion, and they're in this list. So I'm gonna get started with a game called Green Soldiers Heroes Extreme Bikers. Now, I mentioned this to you at the end of last month's video, and I have now finished it, but I fucking hate this with such a passion that I think everybody needs to know about this rubbish game. This goddamn. So I've worked out they're supposed to be toy soldiers, not aliens, even though the graphics are so fucking. All it is a motorcycle game. And I picked it up thinking, hey, you know what? It'd be cool just to have a motorcycle game where you ride to A to B and I could enjoy this kind of thing. Just like simple switch my mind off. And it is filled with some of the hardest levels, with the worst controls. That by the end I was pulling my hair out. And the last level has you doing jumps, and this game is not designed for jumps in any way. You launch yourself in the air with a motorcycle, and when you land, it stops dead. It just stops fucking dead. Like, how is that? And there's some levels where it's like, okay, you've got a 3-minute timer, and you can complete the level with a minute and a half left. And then the next level, you're like, you've got a 3-minute timer, and it's so tight that you complete it with 1 second. And it's like, what is this design about? Honestly. And then you're thinking, okay, well, it's achievements, right? Okay, and it's like 9 out of 10 of the achievements are complete the first 9 levels. And then the 10th achievement is complete all the levels. There's 30 of them. By level 30, I wanted to cry. I was so angry with this game. I fucking hated it. Honestly, it's up one of the worst. Don't. Even if you're like, oh, it's easy achievements. It's not, though. That's what it's saying. It's not. Because of that last achievement, it's not. And you'll hate every second of it. Green Soldiers Heroes, Extreme Bikers. Oh my God. Liam.
Oh. I haven't heard of it, but I think I'll be avoiding it. Okay, so mine was somewhat similar in that I didn't want to just pick like 3 crappy games that I bought for 99p, like
Mm,
basically what you said. That'd be just too kind of boring and stuff. So I kind of decided to go for, instead of like games that were the worst, because I kind of intentionally avoid games that are going to be bad. Like
mm.
I do check out reviews and stuff like that. I check out the Xbox store and like kind of get an idea of what other people are thinking of it. So if something's like really negatively, people are talking really badly about it, I will intentionally avoid it. So I've gone for games that more disappointed me. That I, like you said, that games that you wanted to give a try and kind of disappointed you. Some of them are. One in particular might be controversial, but I'll start at
Okay.
number 3. I mean, this obviously is more actually bad, and I think we've all played it. It's the Grinch Christmas Adventures. That just came to Game Pass
Fucking,
recently for Christmas, and
fucking game.
in its defense, well, I admit that it is a kids' game, and it does kind of tell the Dr. Seuss story of the Grinch quite well through the storybook and everything. But it's not doesn't forgive the horrible, clunky gameplay. And I actually started this as a co-op experience with my 10-year-old daughter, and she got bored very quickly. And I think that just says everything about it because it's designed for kids, and even it couldn't even hold her attention. And also the co-op elements of it, where one of you plays the Grinch, one plays as Max the dog, it's very poorly integrated. It may as well not be there at all, basically. And it's just a cheap cash in, for movie tie-in type of thing. And I think we've I thought we'd come like a long way from those types of games where they just get like these cheap, crappy ones. It seems like the tie-ins of stuff, of movies and all TV shows and stuff have got a lot better in recent times. And this just, yeah, it just felt like something that must have come out on the 360 or something. It was that bad.
Yeah, I think we can all concur here. Mine's actually goes a little deeper than that because this game was actually originally released last year as the Grinch Christmas Adventures. The version that came out this year is called the Grinch Christmas Adventures Merry and Mischievous Edition because it included the DLC and one fucking pack. A DLC that I hated as much as no doubt you did as well. Collecting all the food for the feet. And basically an extra 5 levels of hell. I hate this game. I hate the fact that even though I completed it last year, I stupidly went, well, it's on Game Pass and it was an easy completion. Let me do it again. I still haven't completed it. Like, I don't want to go back and complete it because I'm so bored playing it. But if I don't complete it before Christmas, I will never complete this then because I'm not playing it after Christmas. Like, I'm not. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I agree. It's a terrible game.
Mhm.
Well, me and Liam have doubled up on that one. I'm afraid. So I've got a really, 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 really controversial one, and I know that especially you, Carl, are going to scream at me when I talk about it. So I want to save it to the last, and I'm going to have that as basically as two, because like Liam said, it's not that it's the worst, but it's one that it's in the middle and I was very disappointed with. So I'm going to say that to the end, but so I've only got two. And so basically, the one I'm going to do is Peppa Pig World. So, it was on Game Pass. I knew it was going to be an easy completion. But the thing about this game, it was an easy completion, but it was so flipping annoying. It was literally just going backwards and forwards, like the first one. But this one was worse than the first one. 30-minute completion. But yeah, terrible game. But yeah.
I find those games particularly insulting because they will say to you, "Well, what did you expect? They're made for kids." It's like, no, don't you fucking insult kids that way? It's so insulting to kids to be like, "Oh, they're made for kids." So what? Kids get shit games as well then? Oh, because they're just kids, they won't understand a good game. Be fucking serious, man. Like it's a cop out to use that. I fucking hate the fact that games like that and the Bluey game and all of that are like, "Well, it's for kids. Why are you playing it?" It's like it's still a shit game. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I kind of make it's a little bit more forgivable, I guess, because it's on Game Pass. It's practically free, I suppose. And but like, I'm not sure what else you could do with the Peppa Pig universe in like a game anyway. But yeah,
Give her a give her a gun, man.
make it like a
Do what
GTA type thing.
do what they all games do when they run out of ideas. Make a karting game. There you go.
Oh god, yeah, that'd be next.
Yep.
Yep. Race with Ryan again. But anyway, right, my second one then is it was on Game Pass. I saw it. I thought, you know what, that looks colourful and cute, and the idea of like kind of just like looked interactive, so I decided I'd play it. And it was a horrible experience. Barbie Project Friendship, where the only
Come on.
fucking thing you do in that game is fetch quests back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's all you do. And it is so fucking boring because the loading screens are long and the area is fucking boring to explore. You can't unlock shortcuts until you've unlocked all the fucking missions. So by the time you get the shortcuts, you don't need to use them anymore. And what was driving me nuts by the end is that it's the epitome of what a person would call woke. In that it's so embarrassingly transparent, where every bit of dialogue is written in a way to be like, look how forward and thinking Barbie is, and like it's all that kind of nonsense that even someone like me who doesn't really buy into that shit anyway, and certainly doesn't like the term. But what I was trying to see was from an outside perspective, the kind of person that's play that who would think like that would see this game and be like, why are they making it like that kind of thing? It's all about friendship, and it's that thing again. People say to me, "You laughed, Liam," and no doubt it's that. Why am I a grown man at the age of 41 playing Barbie Project Friendship? Right? What do I expect? This is an insult to kids. It's so fucking boring. And the fact that all it is fetch quests. Go get this thing. Ken wants some ice cream. Go get Ken his ice cream. Bring it back to Ken. And then Ken will be like, "Oh yeah, can I also have some cake?" Guess what a cake is? It's the same place where the fucking ice cream was. So you go all the way back to get it again. And then bring it back. I mean, come on. That's what kids are being given. Fuck you, you developing shitheads. Hated it. Project Friendship Barbie's game. Don't. It's not even an easy completion. So just don't.
Yeah, I think you're doing an admirable job there. You're going through all these terrible kid games to warn the world, warn the kids to avoid it. So doing a good job there.
Okay, then what's your next one?
Okay, my second one is a game called Twin Mirror. And I don't know if you've heard of it, but basically it's from the people who made the Life is Strange games, so you can get an idea from that what type of game it is. And I enjoy the Life is Strange games for the
Hmm.
most part. However, this game is literally put me to sleep with how boring it is. And maybe I've just played too many of these types of games, but this was clearly one too many, basically. It's a sort of the plot is like a murder mystery, but it's just very by the numbers. And while it does have a few interesting mechanics, it's just so mundane across the board. Also, it commits the cardinal sin of not letting you skip scenes or dialogue on its collectible mode. So you have to like sit through the same dialogue and scenes over and over and over to get some of the collectibles. And to make matters worse, it's now actually been delisted from the Xbox Store because it has expired licenses. So you can never play it anyway.
Oh my God! Amazing. Delisted for expired licenses. That's
I think
okay.
I think it was for music. that it had in the game that's been expired. So they didn't pay for it very long, which is like, what does that say?
That's brilliant. Oh, wow. Did you complete it before it expired? Deleted.
I did get to complete 100%, but it
Good.
was not fun.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I've never heard of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we'll never come across it. Okay. So Damien, you've got one, and it's one that you think is controversial. So then I think you should leave that to the very, very end. So I'm going to do because my next one's again nothing special. So look, I'm a secret massive fan of 3D platformers, old school cartoony 3D platformers, your Banjo-Kazooies, ukuleles, and all the stuff and all that. And some of this series as video game crossover stuff with films has resulted in some. One of the series that's actually released some good games is the Hotel Transylvania series. Has released some really good 3D games based around the movies. And weirdly, I've only ever seen the first Hotel Transylvania movie, so I don't even know what the rest of the story is about. But when a new one of them came my way, or one that I thought was semi new, I was like, yeah, you know what? It was on sale. I think it was 90% off. It's a 3D platformer. I will no doubt have some fun playing this. So I bought Hotel Transylvania Scary Tale Adventures. Honestly, it is the worst 3D platform I've played in a decade, if not longer. Everything is wrong. Everything. It looks like it was made fucking on the Nintendo 64. That's how bad it looks. But it plays even worse. The controls are horrendous. It's infuriatingly bad to the point where jumping is just with a bad, like, the controls are bad, then you got a bad camera as well. And these days we don't really get bad cameras the way we used to back in the day. Yet here it somehow has one. It gets locked up and stuck and all of that. But the levels are like 40 minutes long. And if you miss one fucking thing, you have to play the entire, like, to complete the game you have to get all the collectibles, and that involves collecting these things and levels. You miss one, you have to replay the entire level, and you can't even just get the thing, get to the next checkpoint and then quit out. You've then got to complete the entire fucking level again, and they're so long and boring, and it's hard. That's the thing, because of the controls and the way it plays, it's fucking hard as well. Oh, it was awful. Hotel Transylvania Scary Tale Adventures, honestly, because I expected it to be decent, I think it was more of a shock, why it was so bad.
Doesn't sound much fun. Can't lie.
Mm,
Okay, so Damon's one is a super controversial one to finish. Mine might be
yeah.
quite controversial as well. And like I said, this is mainly about disappointment more than anything. And I think people kind of played it, but it is Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time.
Mm,
And maybe that might surprise you, but like I said, I know this will be controversial, and there is a lot to love about this game. The animations are incredible, the story is well told, and the gameplay is slick and responsive. But my issue is simple. The game isn't any fun. I think they spent too long thinking of ways they could make things as difficult as possible for seasoned players and forgot while these games can be challenging, they still need to be enjoyable and not a lesson in frustration. I thought the levels were way too long and dragged out, and I applaud that it has a lot of content, but I just didn't have much fun with it, which is very disappointing because this hasn't been the case for any previous Crash game for me. As someone who got every relic and every game in the original trilogy, I cannot imagine the time and muscle memory that would be required to do it in this. I just think it's not any fun. That's my reason.
Yeah, I agree. I started it, and then I remember the trouble I had playing the remastered versions of getting the relics, and it drove me to fucking madness with all the bonus details. And I purposely read up, and I've seen people writing guides on this and saying that it's taken them hundreds of hours just to do these relics. And I thought, you know what? I don't think I've got the patience to do that. You know.
But it's like in the original trilogy, the levels would be 2 or 3 minutes long. So of course you got to like get perfect to get like a platinum or a gold in that. And 2 or 3 minutes, it can take a lot of time to get that right. You maybe replay it 50 times. But in this, the levels, some of them are near 10-minute long, and they all have like moments of real difficulty with obstacles and traps and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just think they just took it too extreme because they tried to make a game that would please the hardcore Crash fans that are really great at getting these things, and they want it to be as hard as possible and to try and make the speed runners and stuff like that to try and make it hard for them. And I think they just took it way too far. They forgot that you got to think about like casual people or maybe people playing it for the very first time, like kids and stuff like that. I just think they just went way too far.
I don't get it. Considering Crash 3, Crash Warped is universally seen as the best Crash Bandicoot game, why would you not use that as the basis for all your future Crash games. So I also played Crash Bandicoot 4, but my issue is not so much about difficulty because I haven't put enough time into it to recognize that. My thing is the fact that I must have started this game over and over again, jumping back into it every couple of months because I keep forgetting it even exists. And then I'm either jumping, and I guess it's basically the point is it's not grabbing my attention. And that's quite a surprise for a new Crash Bandicoot game.
Exactly. There you go.
Oh, Damon, hit us then. Come on with no doubt your outrageous one.
Okay, now see, now bearing in mind that I'm not putting
Don't
this in there
say what you're about to say. If you say what I think you're about to say,
it's the worst game. But I'm putting it there because for me it's in the middle. So it's Resident Evil Village.
I'm. Go on, explain yourself.
Okay, so I have my reasons. So first things first. The story. I didn't like the story. I think the story is average compared to 7. I think the story is quite average.
Okay.
I think, although I like the characters and the bosses, I think the bosses are ridiculous. I think they're ridiculous. It's gone way above what Resident Evil was, zombie wise and stuff like that. To weird creatures to now fighting. As one person who I read online described as fighting Megatron.
You mean you're talking about what's his name?
Yeah, and from fighting, I don't know, werewolves to lichens to vampires to I don't even know to bloody big black gooey things and all. Just all. I just think that it went way too over the top, and it went way past what a Resident Evil game was for me. And I know we all talk about the ridiculous things of eat a plant or heal you, have a first aid or heal you. But for fuck's sake, man, in this game, Ethan gets his arm cut off, and he puts a bit of first aid spray on and sticks his arm back on together, man. So come on, man. That's now unless I'm missing and Ethan's like some super alien himself or whatever, or it just goes a bit too far fetched for me. I know all the games are far fetched, but this goes way above what I expected, and yeah, but as I said again, I enjoyed the game. I completed it fully, obviously, and the DLC, but I just think that for me, from what they had from 7 to this. It went completely different.
Man. So I don't think you're right. I genuinely don't think you're right. I think the game explains itself well enough to make all of these things believable. I do agree that it's pushing the limits of what's acceptable, but I think it's easy to forget just because of nostalgia sometimes that Resident Evil 1 was giving you giant fucking snakes. Why is that okay? Why is a giant snake okay and not a fucking werewolf? But the werewolves are explained as well. They're not really werewolves in the sort of traditional sense. The Ethan stuff, yeah, it gets silly, but you forget 7 did the same thing. In fact, 7 makes less sense because in Village, by that point, by the end of 8, with it, spoilers for anyone that doesn't know, you had your chance, but with Village, it reveals what Ethan is at that stage. Explain that when he gets his fucking arm cut off at the beginning of 7. Just what I'm saying, you can't have it both ways. It's in 7 as well, but 7 was definitely more horror based. 8 is more action. I described 8 Village, I think, in a review, saying basically it's a cross between it's taking elements from Resident Evil 4 in that it wants to be kind of have the vibe and all of that, but it's a lot more action based. And there are things that stretch for me personally, but then it gets so much fucking right. And I see 7 and 8, 7 and Village as they're separated from the franchise to a degree. They're their own little contained stories set within a world that connect things into it, particularly Village. Because at the end, the connections towards Umbrella revealed at the end, are brilliant, really clever stuff and all of that. And the DLCs are good with this one as well. Yeah, I agree. It does get a little bit crazy. What's his name? I've forgotten his fucking name. The character, the one you took, Megatron,
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg.
Yeah,
Heisenberg pushes Heisenberg's factory. That entire section pushes things. But why is it okay for Resident Evil 4? We all love Resident Evil 4 for its madness and the things it's doing. In that, there's a point where you are fighting or getting chased by a giant stone golem version of a bad guy. How is that okay? But this, you know what I'm saying? To me, it's the defense of oh well, it's going well off the deep end. Resident Evil went off the deep end a fucking long time ago. But we forget that. But that's the thing. How I believe, with a game like Village, your mileage for that will vary. I remember when I saw the trailer and I thought, oh my God, werewolves, what the fuck are we doing here? Big boobed vampire, lady, all of this stuff. But when I played the game, I thought it all worked. It all made sense. Most of it worked, and it all made sense. Weirdly, the most disappointing part for Village for me is actually the overarching boss, the sort of big finale boss, and all of that. Like, actually, I thought was probably the most disappointing part of that. But like, I still think Village is a brilliant game. I do.
I mean, I'm talking on the basis like if I gave Resident Evil 4 10 out of 10, I'm giving Village like a 7.5 out of 10. I'm
Okay.
not like that. So that's sort of basis, and it does have moments. I mean, I loved the whole dollhouse bit. You know,
Mm,
excellent with the weird baby chasing you thing. I think that was excellent. You know, I love the
mm,
DLC with the mannequins chasing you.
yeah.
Excellent. You know, I loved all that. You know, so but yeah, I just felt that was a bit far fetched, and I didn't enjoy the story because I suppose because the fact that I really enjoyed the Baker family compared to this sort of
Mm.
story, you know. So perhaps it was but the fact that I played 7 and then went straight into Village, maybe that was it. That was the problem too.
That is a common thing that you do sometimes end up unfortunately doing. For most
Mm,
of us, the gap between 7 and Village was significant, a good
mm,
few years. Whereas you went from 7 straight into Village. I mean, that's going to be jarring.
mm.
Like in a way, it's cool that you got to do that, but also like it's yeah. I'd say to you, just try and fucking keep up next time. But like yeah.
And mercenaries, I fucking hated mercenaries.
Well, mercenaries are mercenaries. You do what you do. Got anything to add, Delium, or you want to move on?
Obviously, I just pretty much agree with what you're saying, Carl.
Mm.
Like I just don't feel that negatively about it at all. I thought it was a fantastic entry. I thought it kind of stayed along the same similar lines to what Seven gave us. Maybe went a bit more action orientated in places, but the story kind of just called for that in some ways. And
Mm.
I just think a lot of the stuff that was in it that were like jump the shark moments, like you said, Resident Evil's packed with those types of things. And I think it just was along the same lines, really. I don't think it did anything that was, well, I've never seen anything like that in Resident Evil before. But, that's just obviously Damon's opinion, who's disappointed in it. That's fair enough.
Mm.
You fighted a goddamn robot which transformed for God's sake.
But you got to think
Yeah,
about some
but
of the other things that happen in Resident Evil, man.
I know,
yeah.
but a giant snake. You can easily account for that. A chemical spill or whatever. It's a fucking robot for fuck's sake, which transforms every time you bloody fight it.
Okay, well,
And
how
how the hell did you manage to drive a fucking tank? Okay, is Ethan suddenly bloody? I mean, Chris and I built a tank, and Ethan gets in the tank and then drives it into the lift or whatever the hell it is. I don't even know.
Ethan's trying to rescue his daughter, mate. Like, come on, man. Do not be speaking ill of the dead. Ethan's the
I
best.
think if you're looking for realism, Resident Evil is the wrong place to be looking for it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
that.
yeah, obviously, of course, yeah.
Okay, right. Let's move on to proudest achievements. Now, instead of going back and forth here, we'll actually just keep it a bit tighter now. We're just going to list the three. I'm gonna list my three. We'll move to Liam, list his three, and Damon, you list your three. So, proudest achievements. I had a long, hard look at this, and these are the three that I decided that I just loved. The first comes from Outer Wilds, and it is the achievement Hot Shot, which is, if you know the game, folks, the manually fly to the sun station. The achievements in Outer Wilds are very clever and really force you to explore the universe and do as much as you can. You will go to the sun station well before you even consider this. And to manually fly to the sun station, there are a bazillion guides, and none of them are right because it requires such skill. A little bit of luck in places because it's a fucking space station orbiting the sun. And it's going faster than you, so you need. It's so hard to explain. But when I did it, I basically ended up crashing into the fucking thing, and then I didn't. And then you have to. But it's not just that. You then need to get out of your ship and get into the station with gravity trying to suck you into the sun. It is the most nerve-wracking achievement in the game. Super love that achievement. Well proud of it. Power Slave Exhumed. Yep, back to that. It also has an achievement I'm super proud of. It is called Godlike Warrior. And it is to complete the game on Pharaoh difficult. If you loved an old school challenge where the game is going to kick your ass, but you're going to be so satisfied when you complete the game on the hardest difficulty, Pharaoh difficulty is what it's all about. Fucking love the challenge of this one, and it was the last thing I did in this game. So super this was just great. And last but not least, I don't mention this game because it actually came out in 2024, but I played it this year. It was called Gory Cuddly Carnage. It's one of those hidden gems that I suggest you all play if you love your action 3D fighting games, similar to like Devil May Cry, but you're a cat with a skateboard that swears a lot, fighting against zombie unicorns. It's insane, but it's a lot of fun. The achievement is Legendary Medalist, and it's simply to get all gold stars for all levels and challenges, e.g., do everything the game has to offer. And that is surprisingly easy because it's just a lot of fun to fucking do because the game is a lot of fun to play. If you ever see it on sale, put it on your wish list. It's worth checking out. Gory Carnage. There's my three. Yeah.
Awesome. Shall I go next?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my first one is the achievement called Superior Species. It's from the Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem game that we played briefly
Mm.
online. And it's to get any medal on the Clear Fortress survival level. And that might not sound too complicated, but it's only been unlocked by 0.11% of people. And I can see why, because it's extremely hard. You're basically stuck in this really small space, and the only way you can survive is to run like hell and take tight turns on corners. But even then, it feels far more luck-based because you're being chased by these clear creatures, these like these monsters that chase after you, and as the level gets further on, it ramps up in the amount of them that come onto this small space chasing you. Basically, you have to survive for 5 minutes to only get a bronze medal, which is enough for the achievement, and it is extreme like difficulty, insane amounts of enemies, and lots of adrenaline. But it feels amazing when you do eventually do it. It's if you remember Mile High Club from back in the day from Call of Duty 4, it has those kind of like feelings of getting that and defeating it and that kind of thing. You know, not a lot to say about the game being that great, but that was super difficult, so I'm really proud to get that one.
Cool.
And my next one is called Skullstorm, and it's from a game called Inscription, and it's to complete a run with every challenge active in Casey's mod. And the reason I chose this achievement is basically because I wanted an excuse to talk about this game that didn't make my list of the top 3 games that I really loved this year, because it's a fantastic game that I can't recommend enough. But basically, a quick rundown of the game. You awaken in a strange cabin and are trapped with a mysterious traveler who challenges you to play a card game for your life. It's essentially a roguelike deck builder, with each run giving you more little breadcrumbs about the story and the mystery at large. It's an extremely compelling story, and the card-based gameplay is addictive as hell. And while it does have elements of RNG, it never feels unfair. And this achievement is for a separate mode to the story, which sees you needing to activate every challenge, which are essentially disadvantages that make your run harder. So it's a very tough achievement, but super satisfying, and it really culminates in everything you experience in the game. So definitely check out that game if you can.
Cool.
And my top one for this year is from the game The Altars. It's an achievement called Yan Complete, and that's because your character you play as, his name is Yan, Jan. And the achievement was actually bugged until very recently, where it got patched. It's the pretty much the achievement you get for doing everything possible in the game, but it's definitely worth doing because it essentially means that you've completed every mission with each of the 10 altars, other characters you interact with in the game entirely. And it's definitely one that requires a lot of time played and some intricate manipulation of different saves and whatnot, but it's absolutely worth it. And one of my favorite things to do this year in a game. There you go.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
So
Damon,
just
you're
quickly,
three.
yeah. So just quickly, was this? I actually wrote down 2 lists because I wasn't sure if this was achievement for this year or overall.
Oh, just that you earned this, yeah.
Oh, okay. So then that is just my life.
Oh, not overall.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah, no.
yeah. I mean, I've stuck to games which I played recently because I could have chosen many different ones, because every achievement you're proud of at the end of the day, But so,
I don't know, dude.
uh,
I don't know, dude. There's a lot of them I'm about to talk about in a minute that I'm super I'm
well,
not proud
well,
of.
yeah. So obviously, Resident Evil 7, the banned footage DLC, which is the complete survival mode plus the
Yeah.
21. You got win 10 games in a row. That achievement drove me flipping insane, and I was so
Mm.
glad when I did it because the RNG, because it's luck based, it's
Yeah.
down in RNG, and then when you finally get to the 10th guy at the end, he fucking cheats because he has all the ultimate draw cards and all that crap there. And when I finally won, I was just so happy, relieved because it's bullshit because it's just so luck based, you know. But
Some skill,
yeah,
it
no,
does take skill though. You do need to get good at it.
yeah, of course, and obviously you got to save your cards
Hmm.
towards the end. Uh, Soul Reaver remastered the first one, and it's just a basic achievement. Defeat Kane for the second time. It's always a pleasure to defeat Kane. Especially after loving Kane from Blood Omen and Blood Omen 2, to Kane being such a dickhead in Soul Reaver. So it's always a joy to defeat him. And then, despite my criticism of Resident Evil Village, the legendary cowboy achievement, obviously completing all 7 levels of mercenaries, was again drove me insane, especially the harder ones, but it was enjoyable when I did it.
Cool. All right, shameful achievements then, and I'm going to dive in straight away with Bluey the video game, and it is the achievement holidays, and it's simply to complete the sticker book. I mean, what the fuck am I doing with my life? It's as simple as that. What am I doing? You know, fucking Bluey the video game. Yeah. On that level though, cooking simulator, Windows. Cooking is my life. Serve 50 dishes in total. I didn't serve a single dish. What I did was I entered a code. I am what I did that. I did that to get that million gamer score. Yep, that's what I did. Yep. And lastly, because I got mentioned before, it's here again: Green Soldiers, Heroes, Extreme Bikers, Challenger mode, and basically it's complete all the levels. Challenger mode completed. The shame is that I fucking did it. That I fucking did it. Even though I hated every minute of it, I loaded up my console and wasted another fucking 10 minutes completing a level. Like, honestly, I should be. I'm embarrassed. Yeah, there you go. There's my three. That was super quick. I just wanted to get them out there.
I mean, mine can be super quick as well because I don't actually have specific achievements. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but I did play quite a few games this year that were basically you spend two 99 or 99p, even cheaper than that sometimes, just to buy. You know, basically buying gamer score practically. You play a game
Yeah.
for like an hour, half an hour, and you get five of them gamer score. And unfortunately, these games often are like terrible at the same time. Like it would be nice if maybe they, you know, I wouldn't mind if it were like decent a little bit, but they're just garbage games ultimately, aren't they? So it does kind of feel like you're just buying gamer score a little bit. So
Mhm.
pretty much any achievement I unlocked in any game that I spent like 2.99 on. Yeah.
Is that your summation? Fair enough. Have any of you
Well, I mean, there's
guys
quite a
done?
lot of them. Probably, I've probably played about maybe seven or eight. So that's probably how many achievements is that? All of those.
Mm, I think have any of you done one step after fall? One step after fall. I think that's what it's called. That one
No,
is like one of the
no.
worst for that. And there's the fact that they really keep really releasing the game with different languages, so you can keep earning achievements in the game in different versions. Is bad. I've done them, but there you go. Go on, Damon. What's yours?
Again, I mean, I'll echo what you both said about the cheesy games, which are the easy games, you know. So, but I'll start off with the Amazing Maze. It's the complete chapter four, which is obviously you've got to complete all 40 levels. But thankfully to the Welsh Hunter on YouTube, he gave a clever little cheat. Basically, just die in every level, and it gets you straight to the end, and then you can just complete the game within about 2 minutes. So, yep,
So,
yep.
fucking state of this list. Oh my God.
Literally, I would have never played that game until I searched online and I saw the Welsh Hunter played. I thought, okay, he has all the excellent
He's good guides,
tricks. So
yeah.
yeah, and then obviously Reactor X, all three of them. You
Oh,
know,
fucking
can
hell.
complete it in about 10 minutes. You know, literally 30 achievements, easy. And then obviously, and then I've gone for every hidden cat game I played on the Xbox and then on the Windows. Although they're excellent games, I love the games, I love them, but the fact that I completed them one version and I played a second version on Windows and completed the same version again and got obviously 8,000 gaming score. But I do highly praise Doctor Sleep, which I don't think you played on, Carl. That one is excellent. I love it.
Doctor Sleep. Doctor
Yep,
Sleep.
hidden cats. Yeah.
Or like
Hidden.
the Stephen King, Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, I'm confused. Hidden Cats and what? What? Santa's Realm? Like Hidden Cat. Like I played a lot of the Hidden Cat games as well. Hidden Cats and like Hidden Cats and Doctor Sleep. You must be thinking of something.
I might have actually named that wrong. I just want to double check that. But
Hidden is a hidden. It's a Hidden Cats game.
yeah, I might have actually named that wrong.
Well, I think yeah. Istanbul's the latest one. Spooky Town. Not sure what you mean. But yeah, I
Is it,
actually like
it
what
is it
I really dig. Go
sorry,
on.
is it Detective Agency?
No,
No.
I'll find it. I'll find it in a second. Just continue.
Yeah, no big deal. Well, I reason I was making a face is because I think the Hidden Cats games are actually really, really good games. They literally don't charge much. They're very simple. They're well designed, and they're always quite fun and quite like relaxing to play. I think they're designed well. So I don't really feel much shame of the achievements because even the achievements make sense in relation to what they're doing. But the fact that they're always cheap as well. They don't overcharge you. The new one's Hidden Cats in Istanbul, I think. I haven't bought it yet, but I know that's like the latest one that's out. So I quite dig them.
Yeah, I
I
just
mean,
found it. It's Doctor Cat.
Dr. Cat, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely. I was thinking, oh man, I missed the Stephen King version of it. I gotta play
I know. Which one's that, man? That sounds good.
It's a very deep game, you know. He's a psychiatrist and he's asking you questions about your life, and then you got to do a puzzle, and then obviously each area is a puzzle, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
that.
That
Oh
sounds
my God.
that sounds pretty different to like the other ones, where it's just like
Yeah.
basically spot the cat.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah.
go on. You were gonna
I'm
say
just
something.
about. I'm also, I played every single hidden cat game, and I think they're really fun for what they are. I sometimes put them on for like my whole family to kind of like play at the same time, so it's kind of like a fun family game. And yeah,
Oh yeah.
I believe the money you spend on it goes towards some kind of good cause as well, so which is nice. But yeah, I think they're really nice for what they are.
Positive words about hidden cats. There you go. Right, we're just going to wrap this video up then with some basically nominations for games that you might be looking forward to next year. I have 6. Now, some of these have release dates confirmed, others aren't confirmed but are expected in 2026. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the ones that when I look through the sort of catalogue of games next year, I thought, yeah, I care about that. First on my list is Higher on Life 2. I did enjoy Higher on Life. Like, it's very basic stuff, but I enjoyed the shit out of it. A lot of fun with it. I'm actually quite looking forward to the second one, hoping that they can improve upon some of the mistakes and lesser things that they did. And the trailer looks pretty good. I enjoyed that. I enjoy the company behind it, the team behind it, the Rick and Morty lot and stuff like that. So I dig it. Obviously, I have to say it. Look, Resident Evil Requiem. I am. It's looking like it's going to be a good one. And so I'm excited for it. I roll my eyes at the Leon thing as well, just like everybody does, but also it's Leon, so I totally am stoked to see the old motherfucker kicking some ass. So like it's gonna be good. I know it's gonna be good. So excited for that. Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War. It's the game we've all been asking for. We've all been asking for this fucking first person shooter, and they're finally gonna do it. So stoked on that. The trailer looks fun. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, a built up from bottom up remake of the original. I mean, are you kidding me? But this is what I'm most excited about. This is how they continue the franchise by going back to its roots, connecting the dots up to the trilogy we all loved, the Rise of Tomb Raider, all of that, and redesign. And this is basically setting up the future of the Tomb Raider franchise, where it's going to feel and be more. Take the gameplay of the last few Tomb Raiders and apply that to the original game with updated visuals and better. Like it's gonna be. I'm really stoked for that. I'm also really stoked for the new one, but the new one doesn't come out till a year after, so I couldn't compare it in this. Look, this is possibly in 2026, but who knows because they've all gone deathly quiet. But Fable, if this actually does become a thing, it's still rumored for 2026 release date. Very interested to see what they do with Fable in modern day. Really stoked for that. However, the one that I'm most excited for, and I only came across it tonight when I was looking, and I went, wait, what's that? And then I looked into it and watched the trailer on Steam, and it is supposedly coming to consoles as well. It's Shadow Man.
Hmm.
Dark Legacy or Dark Legacy, and it's a prequel. It's going to be the original Shadow Man, Jack Boniface, if you know the comic book stuff. Yeah, it's a new Shadow Man game, and there's a trailer.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
cinematic trailer. But it's got screen grabs. It's got a story. It's due in 2026, and I was like, oh shit. I'm well
Wow.
stoked for this. So yeah, Shadow Man, new game. So that's the one that kind of immediately went up on top of my list. That's the six that I've chosen for that I'm most interested for. Yeah, Liam.
Okay, let's go quickly through my list. Probably going to be going across a few similar games that you did, but not too long. But obviously, like you said, Resident Evil Requiem. I can't wait to experience the next chapter in that story. Going back to Raccoon City with Leon after all this time, that's going to be pretty cool to witness. The Final Fantasy VII remake finally coming to Xbox. I know
Of
technically
course.
it's already been already released. I've got it pre-ordered. I've waited so damn long for this damn game, and already know it's great. I mean, everyone says it's great. So it's pre-ordered. It just pre-installed the other day, over 100 gigabytes. So I'm ready to go with that as soon as it comes out. Yeah. Fable, like you said, 2026 release date is supposed to come, so be interesting because about GTA getting pushed to where that's going to release. Everyone's going to try and avoid GTA, so but I think this could end up being pretty damn special if they can capture the magic of the original games with modern technology and everything that comes with. So I'm pretty hyped. I love Playground Games, who also did the Forza Horizon games, and they're doing Fable, so I have a lot of faith that they're going to do great things. Obviously, GTA 6 goes without saying. Don't really need to go into much more detail. And there's a game, I don't know if you heard of, but it's called Blood of the Dawnwalker. And
Mm.
it's basically, essentially, The Witcher if you were a vampire and everything that comes with. The early gameplay I've seen, there is some gameplay videos out there. It looks very promising and with lots of refinement. I think this is definitely one to watch and
Hmm.
make vampires great again in video games. Come on.
Vampire, The Witcher, but with vampires. Very cool.
Yes. The next one is called Resonance, and it's a Plague Tale Legacy. It's I really adored the other two Plague Tale games, so I'm well and truly invested in whatever they put out next, and this should be great as well.
Fuck, how did I miss that? I knew that was coming, but you're right, I missed that. I'm a huge fan of both the Plague Tales. So yeah, I'm actually want to quickly throw this one as extra. Now you reminded me of that. Well stoked for this one.
Definitely. My next one, again, you mentioned it already, High on Life 2. The first game, it had some gameplay imperfections, but it was overall a fun blast to play through, and the comedy is right up my alley. I love Rick and Morty. The trailers have very much impressed me so far. And the next one is called Ontos, and it is from the same developer that made Soma, which is one of my all-time favorite games. In my opinion, I think it's a sci-fi horror masterpiece. And the trailer, I think, looks pretty damn special. The next one is 007 First Light. And I'm not a huge James Bond fan, admittedly. So does little for me in that regard. However, IO Interactive made the absolutely fantastic Hitman games. So that alone makes it worthy of my attention. I am a fan also of the actor they've chosen to play James Bond, Patrick Gibson. And I think they've really taken their time with this one. And I think it could be something truly great. My next one is Fatal Frame Crimson Butterfly remake that's coming out. I played the original all the way back on the original Xbox, and it's one of the scariest games I've ever played from memory. It taps into the best elements of J horror, and a complete remake of the game will no doubt be very special. I did just mention the Playground games, and Forza Horizon 6 is going to be set in Japan, and that's coming out in 2026. I love the Forza Horizon games. And
Mm.
lastly, it's meant to come out this year as well. The new Gears game, which is going to be a prequel. It's going to focus on Marcus and Dom younger during the E-Day.
Mm.
And obviously, it'll bring back the characters we all know and love in this prequel, and I have no doubt it'll be a great game. That's me.
Good shout about Gears. I actually forgot about that one as well. But yeah, I'm actually really, well, I'm pretty much Gears out these days. The idea of going back to E-Day is quite a, oh, there could be something cool here. All right, Damon, how many of these games are you like, you'd have been like, wow, you didn't even know these games were coming out?
Seriously, man. If you see my list, you'll be like, what? So, I mean, you effectively basically named half the ones I've got, but obviously, Final Fantasy 7, of course. I can't wait for that. I've obviously completed all the older ones, but looking forward to that. Obviously, Resident Evil Requiem. I'm obviously, of course, looking forward to that. Obviously, completing 7 and Village recently. Shenmue 3. Did I hear that as a rumor being coming to Xbox? So that'll be
Supposed
good.
to be.
You know,
Supposed to be,
yeah.
Supposed
yeah.
to be.
Shenmue 4.
In your dreams, mate.
Obviously GTA 6, ETA 2030 when it comes out. And then obviously one which is obvious for me, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. I cannot wait for that game. So I love my Yakuza games. I've completed every one apart from the pirate one, which I'm still waiting for them to drop the fucking price for God's sake. I'm not paying 55 quid for it. Drop the goddamn price. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's quite a few cool little looking games next year as well, whatever the indie market does.
I think
provides us this
2026,
week.
unlike 2025, like we said, maybe was lacking a little bit. 2026 is like ridiculously stacked with games, so
Mm.
guaranteed. Like this was like only a few. There was many more I could have mentioned that are supposedly could come out, but probably be pushed to later and whatnot. I think everything's going to try and avoid GTA 6, so who knows?
Yeah, who's releasing a game around that window? You'd be insane to do that. All right, we have gone over an hour, so that is where we're going to wrap this up, and that is our summation of 2025. I'm going to go back downstairs and finish off Christmas Mutilator because I've got to get video. Yeah, I know. Some of us have to get the video content up on the YouTube channel. So like the fact they released a couple of last minute, they released a couple of Christmas games, including the Bullet Hell one called like Something in My Chimney. It's like very cheap and it's an easy completion, but it's actually fun. But Christmas Mutilator is the one I need to finish and then get the video up. So we'll wrap this up. If you've got any thoughts on what we talked about here, you know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.